Yo, what's going on, guys? Crispy Flakes here. So probably for the first time since I've started doing YouTube back in like 2013, I get to talk about the Detroit Pistons winning basketball games. And I'm not talking about a team that was just kind of like slapped together and, you know, got like the 8th seed with like Blake Griffin and Andre Drummond. I'm talking about a basketball team filled with guys on the roster that I actually really care about and really like and really embrace, man. Like, the Detroit Pistons are 4-2 in their past 6 games. And while things have not been perfect, it's been so many like just great like learning opportunities for this very young team, and I definitely want to talk about it, man. Now, before we get going on this video, if you guys don't mind leaving a like and of course subscribing to the channel, I'm really trying to branch out into more like NBA discussion type of stuff, just because like NBA 2K, I know the game is kind of dried up and stuff, man. So, you know, I'm really trying to just try some new things out and do some NBA discussions. So yeah, that support really means a lot to me, guys. But yes, so when I say the Pistons are 4-2, keep in mind that if this was last season, they would be 0-6. And the reason, man, is because the games they have won, they have been so close. They have been so close. I'm looking at it over here right now, man. So, back on February 16th, before the All-Star break, they beat the Boston Celtics 112-111. Then after the All-Star break, they beat Cleveland 106-103. Boston beat them down after that. Man, you know, 104-113. This is one quick little L right there. Beat Charlotte 127-126. Lost to Washington 113-116. And then they just beat the Toronto Raptors 108-106, man. So all extremely close games. But, you know, going back last year, the Pistons did not know how to close out. Like, they could put together a few good quarters and stuff like that. But once the fourth quarter hit, it was a GG. So for one, there's a lot of different reasons why they're actually able to like close out games now. I mean, one, you know, is bringing in a veteran like a Kelly Olynyk. Now, I know I say that name and other NBA fans out there probably like, oh, Kelly Olynyk, they don't get excited about him. He really has been a good positive influence on this team, just as like, you know, a veteran that does have a multi-skill set out there. He started off the season really well with the Pistons, and the Pistons were starting off decently well too. And then, you know, we ended up getting injured, and it just demolished our second unit. Like, he was just the focus point of that second unit, everything like that, man. So yeah, it's been nice having him back, hit some clutch shots and stuff like that, man. Brought to this team to do exactly what he's been doing, knocking down shots and just being a leader out there, man. So that's been really nice to see within itself. So you have closers like that. I mean, and then last year, obviously, you know, the Pistons had like Saddiq Bey, Isaiah Stewart, Killian Hayes, who were all rookies. So you're not really asking those guys to close out games that early on in their NBA career, which is fair enough. But it's nice, man, because, you know, I kind of want to go through some of the different players here and just kind of talk about like what I've been personally seeing from them over the course, you know, of the past few months of the NBA season. So let's start off with Jerami Grant. We're going to start with Jerami Grant because, you know, for a while there, it seems like a lot of fans of the Pistons were on like the team of Jerami Grant being traded. I was on that ship also to an extent, just because I do realize that I think he's a great basketball player. I don't think that he is a number one option on a championship team. I think he's more like a third option guy, but his contract's great and everything like that. But the most important part is that he wants to play in Detroit, right? Like, the option that he wants to play, the Pistons are willing to give him right now. Now, if that's like a long-term thing, there's going to be some issues. But in the short term, I like Jerami Grant, man. Like, he can, you know, give him the basketball, do a lot of different things with the man. His defense is great. In the past 5 games, 4 of them, I believe, the past 5 games since the All-Star break, he's averaging 21 points, few rebounds, few assists, about a steal and a block per game. So that's been really great. So yeah, you got Jerami Grant doing his thing out there. I don't know if he makes it to next season or not. He's going to be on an expiring contract, and a lot of teams are going to be looking to add that type of player to their team on a really good expiring deal, so I could see him being moved eventually. But in the short term, you know, he's fitting in nicely with the rest of the squad, which he has since he's joined this team. The next up, we got Cade Cunningham, man. Okay, so, all right, I realize that Cade's shooting percentages have not been, like, great this season. If you look at any of the great point guards, look at their rookie shooting numbers, man. Like, they're not good, okay? Like, the point guard position, and I guess in theory, too, you know, Cade is kind of doing, like, the double point guard backcourt with him and Corey Joseph, so he plays a lot of off-ball, too. But, yeah, a lot of rookies, they don't shoot great in their first season. It's such an adjustment. Like, you know, beyond just playing, like, game 70 or something like that, and you got to imagine like the toll on an NBA player, you know, a rookie's body or anything, because they've never played this many games before, and especially going against the top-notch competition out there. So yeah, Cade Cunningham is really pulling things together. The past 5 games, man, 21 points, 8 rebounds, 5 assists per game. Like, I could not be happier about his development. He's exactly what the Pistons needed. And while he might not get Rookie of the Year, he's still a top rookie, man. I think, you know, a lot of it's just fun in games and stuff like that, getting caught up in saying, like, oh, like, Evan Mobley's better, or, you know, Scotty Barnes is better, or even saying Cade's better. I know my fan base does it too. There's so many great rookies from this draft class, man. Like, so many studs out there, and it's been great to watch. So let's just think about that and respect that for a second. That there's just been so many guys that have come into the NBA just in this past draft class that are being big-time contributors, man. I've seen what Scotty Barnes, I've seen what Josh Giddey's been doing. Like, it's crazy, man. It's crazy. And Cade Cunningham, his name is right up there, and hopefully he's a leader for the Detroit Pistons for many, many years to come. Absolutely love his game. But the next guy I want to talk about is Saddiq Bey. So, Saddiq Bey going into the season, you know, going back into, like, summer league and training camp and stuff like that, he was really focusing on becoming more than like a one-dimensional player. Last year on the Detroit Pistons, a lot of what he did was from the three-point line and everything. But, you know, this season he's really tried to work on being more of a three-level scorer, attacking the basket, but also being able to make plays for others. And I would say, like, his style of play, I would probably have to say kind of reminds me along the lines of maybe a Chris Middleton or like a Tobias Harris, where, once again, never a number one option on a championship team, but just like a good, consistent player in your lineup that could potentially be a future all-star, right? So that's what I really see with Saddiq Bey. Just, you know, just like, you know, like knock down like that clutch layup and take it to the basket with some anger, man. You know, against the Toronto Raptors was really nice to see and a big part for his game, man. So, the next guy, Marvin Bagley, he's only played 2 games with the Detroit Pistons since the All-Star break, but damn, like, I'm happy with what I'm seeing. I know it's a very small sample size, and it also is kind of like, obviously got to look at the other side of things. He's only played 2 games because, well, he's been injured again. So, I know Kings fans are like, yeah, Crispy, get used to that, but when he has been playing, like, Marvin Bagley has been like this athletic 4 out there that, I don't know, man, you give him the ball, and he can do those little pokes moves and stuff like that. He's really nice around the basket. I love his athleticism. Defense isn't great, but, you know, he's just been a nice little spark plug for this team. I don't know if he's a full-time starter with the Detroit Pistons going forward, but, you know, if the money's right, I will totally embrace Marvin Bagley, you know, as a main focus point of the bench going forward. But the money has to be right, and that's me also saying that maybe there's a chance he breaks on and be something more. And, you know, I still think it was a low-risk, high-reward situation. Trey Lyles and Josh Jackson have not really done anything for the Sacramento Kings, and yeah, Marvin Bagley's been great, so I'm very happy about him, man. You got Hamidou Diallo, just this athletic energy guy where, you know, I love players like that in the sense that Diallo does come into the game, and he changes the flow of it, man. Like, you know, some guys have issues coming off the bench. They feel like they, you know, because for one, you're not playing starter minutes, and you're used to playing starter minutes your entire life, so all of a sudden coming in and playing maybe, you know, 18, 19, 20 minutes per game, you got to really make your opportunity matter. Like, every shot you take is important. It's all about efficiency. And with Diallo, he brings this energy to that second unit that is just really contagious. I absolutely love it. So he's fantastic. Isaiah Stewart's cool. In the past 5 games, averaging 9 points, 9 rebounds, 1 block per game. I like Beef Stew, man. I still think he has some things to come along with going forward and everything. There's still some rawness to his game. If you are a Piston fan, let me know. Do you guys see Isaiah Stewart as a long-term starter or more like an in-the-moment starter? I really want to know your guys' thoughts about that. I like his energy, man. Like, Beef Stew, he does have like that toughness to him that really does just scream Detroit basketball. Maybe not so much in recent years, but, you know, back when the Pistons were great, Bad Boys, or the, you know, Big Ben Wallace days and everything like that, right? And the final guy that I want to talk about is Killian Hayes. So, Killian Hayes' offense, it's still pretty non-existent. He's been moved to the second unit, and I kind of like it. Man, because, you know, Killian Hayes, the big thing about why the Pistons drafted him was to play the point guard position, you know, be the guy that the ball was in his hands the majority of the time, and then, you know, Cade Cunningham fell into our arms, and it's like, okay, well, we'll make Killian and Cade work to the best of our abilities. But fact of the matter, like, for one, when Cade's out with the stars and everything, well, as a starter, I should say, I like when the basketball's in his hands. But the ball's not in his hands, you need to give it to an aggressive guard that, you know, doesn't shy away from penetration and attacking the basket and dishing out to an open Cade Cunningham. And Killian Hayes definitely played very, almost like scared basketball to start the season, and just teams weren't really respecting his offensive game. And he might knock down a three-pointer every now and then, but it was not really working nicely with Cade. And while I don't think Corey Joseph by any stretch of the imagination is the full-term solution, he does at least have like that veteran, like I'm going to attack you type of mentality that I really think Killian needs to develop. But Killian's been nice off the bench, man. Past 5 games, the scoring's not there, about 3 to 4 points per game, but he's averaging 4 rebounds, 5 assists per game. And I just really like how he orchestrates, the second unit in the offense. And, sometimes he comes in like towards like the end of the first quarter and plays with the starters, and they, might check in Kelly Olynyk, which gives him another piece to work with. Like, it's working. It's working in the short term. And it allows Killian to develop in a way that maybe we'll see if in the long term it can work again. But he definitely still needs to work on adding some offense to his game. So, yeah, going forward, what do I really think about this team? I mean, looking at the numbers right here, there's still a lot of improvement. The Pistons only have shot in about 31% from 3 in these games they have won. So it's like the offense is still kind of coming along. But I think the TLDR, I think the biggest message to take away from this is that the Pistons are learning how to close out games. And that's so important. I don't care so much about the actual analytics and statistics to end this season. I care about the growing stepping stones, man. I care about building a foundation that leads to other things for next season, the season after that, and all these young players just really learning, man, like how to be those dudes out there. It's fun to watch. It's fun to watch. And I know there might be some fans out there that are saying, well, Crispy, like, we don't want this team winning too many games, so we're not going to get a lottery pick. I mean, for one, you can't really tank in the NBA anymore. But also, I'm at a point where I look at the draft class, I will be happy with anywhere from number 1 through 5. Like, if we end up getting one of the studs like Chet or Jabari or Paolo Banchero, I'll be happy, man. If we end up getting one of the top-notch guards out there, I'll be happy about that too. So, I love this team. I love Detroit basketball, and it's nice being able to talk about them in a positive manner for once, man, because, man, you all never really seen Crispy Flakes when the Detroit Pistons have been great. Crispy Flakes didn't exist yet, man. I was just Craig, man. I was just, little mini flake out there, right? So, I'm looking forward to the future. Probably still, a few years away from getting to where I want them to be. But in the meantime, man, Detroit basketball.